music friends, welcome to liveprog. It is Tuesday and it's time for a new video in which I get to talk about music, about an album. Yay! The last time I tried to record this video I had this meowing cat in the room who wouldn't just stop, and it ruined my concentration, and I couldn't, get her out of the room unfortunately because she kept coming back in. But the cat's outside and I'm in here, yay, again. And it's time for this album that I have for you guys. And the album is from a Dutch musician that I am featuring now for the 4th time here on liveprog. Wow, that is pretty unique, especially since that is in the span of a year. Not a calendar year, but just a year lengthwise. So that is interesting. And well, let's without further ado move into the album.
Welcome, we're Sebas and Petra from Equiza and you are watching liveprog.
Yeah!
Tired and sore, not taking anymore. Tired for sure, counting.
And the album I have is this one, From Middle to East by Sebas Honing. Now when I show you this cover there are two things I have to mention and also bring you a dilemma. Because what you see here are these things here and this here. It's information about the label, the copyrights information, the barcode and all that kind of things. And you would normally say, yeah, but that's supposed to be on the back side of the album, not on the front side, right? You are right. But that brings me to that second point, and that brings me to my dilemma. Because if you have the cover here and if I turn it around, hey, wait a second. Wow. Now, I am presenting you this like it's brand new, but obviously you know that. I mean, first of all, if you've been following my reviews, if you've been following Sebas Honing, you know all that. I mean, Sebas Honing sat here on my couch telling about this album and he already showed that you could turn it over and that kind of things. I did a review of this album and so I already told you why am I doing this. I don't know why, but it still has the dilemma. And the dilemma is this. In June, I reviewed this album and I gave it the liveprog Must Have seal because I think it's a fantastic album. I think, well written, well composed, beautiful to listen to. But, as I said, if you turn it over and if you do it like this, these are, yeah, I could tear it up, and then you have two separate albums, but in essence, they are a part of each other. They are sort of a Siamese twin. And if I gave this one a liveprog Must Have recommendation, what about this one? Does this automatically get that as well? Oh, that's a tough one. Well, not really. It's not really a tough one at all. Because from the first time I listened to this album, I knew that it would get a liveprog Must Have recommendation. Because I loved the songs that you find on this one. So I'm not giving that recommendation because it's a part of Songs of Seas and Ocean. No, I'm giving it a recommendation because I think this in itself is a great album. There's of course a difference. I mean, Songs of Seas and Ocean, as you can see also in the cover, has a bit of a wet theme, while From Middle to East has a more cultural theme. It takes you on a journey through 3 countries. It starts off in Turkey, it moves to India, and then it moves to Indonesia where it ends. In 5 tracks, you are taking along on that journey through these countries, through these cultural influences that are incorporated in the music. And that is something I definitely like about this album. Now, I could mention that Sebas Honing did everything himself, including the vocals, that Petra Honing also plays a part in it as well, doing vocals, that he plays a variety of guitars again. But, just listen to the review of this one and watch it and you hear me saying exactly the same, so I'm not going to do that. I already did. But the one thing I did notice was that one of the instruments that he plays is a baglama. What the hell is that? I had to look it up, but then it says it's a saz. And I still don't know what that is, but it looks something like this. And that is a Turkish string instrument, and that is used on this album. Hang on. Where's the cover? There we have the cover on this album. Now, the nice thing is here you have this, and on the other side you have the same window but then at night, which is kind of nice. And once again, it's kind of hidden in here. You have to take it out a little bit. I think it's a very ingenious idea, but here we have the cover in full. And again, this and on the inside you have lyrics from the few songs. 5 tracks altogether. Them have lyrics, 2 of them are instrumental songs, and wow, where to start? I mean, I really love all the songs, but what I like in particular is that if you start listening to this album and you move from the first track to the second track, you don't hear that. There's no pause. The music keeps going, even though it's very soft, very gentle, it keeps going. If you listen from the next track to the following track, you have that same thing. So you can listen to these 5 tracks like it is one piece of music. That's the way how it feels, and that is something I like very much. Even though there are lyrics in a few songs, and there are a few songs that are instrumental. Also, the influences that he brings in I like very much. The Moon Decides is in Turkey. We have Escape from Arabia, Ode to the Sun, Ramayana, and Perang Puputan. That last track I'm going to tell you a little bit about that, but those are the tracks you find on this album. Now 5 tracks may sound like not much, and you might think, you know, these are probably long tracks, epics, you know, but no, not that much. As a matter of fact, these 5 tracks are about half an hour of music, and in a way I thought, okay, that's not much, and to be honest, a little bit disappointing in me, because, you know, I like the music from Sebas Honing so much that, you know, when the album ends after 30 minutes, you know, it's like, I want more. Well, you get more. There are more tracks on this album than there are listed. There are a couple of bonus tracks, but you know, I still don't know exactly why they put them there, because we have a single version of Ode to the Sun, and there are 3 single versions from this one. That is interesting, because if you have this one, you might probably already have that one as well. And of course, I don't mind that they are there, because, you know, there are songs by Sebas Honing, so I like them anyway, and it's still nice to listen to them, but I was a bit puzzled about that. But so I'm not going to mention these bonus tracks. They are just there to fill up, you know, give the album a little longer playtime. It is about these 5 tracks that I mentioned, and there we have them again. I definitely enjoy the songwriting again, the vocals also. I have a feeling that, you know, on Songs of Seas and Ocean, Petra Honing, I have to turn it around because, you know, keep messing up these things. On Songs of Seas and Ocean, Petra Honing sang in one song and did some backing vocals. Here she does more backing vocals on The Moon Decides and on Perang Puputan. And again, you know, I love the way that these 2 can work together. The vocals from Sebas and Petra, they really give that fantastic feeling in it. Musically, one of my favorite tracks has to be Ramayana. That is an instrumental track with some really nice ambient sounds in it and some really beautiful guitar solos, some Floydian, you know, some David Gilmour influences you pick up very softly here and there, but that's, wow, really fantastic. Last track I really have to mention, because I found it a peculiar name. Of course, it's an Indonesian name, so for that language it's a common or normal thing. But when you Google that, Perang Puputan, if you Google that and you read what that's all about, and I thought, wow, this is a really deep song. Also the whole subject that it goes about, because it describes a Hindu ritual that when a ruler is conquered, instead of surrendering, they dress in white and they kind of charge at the enemy, and then either they kill themselves or they are killed by their conqueror. And that is something that happened, and that also represents a bit of a dark page in the Dutch history, because when I read that story I was not aware of that, but you know, something like that ritual happened when the Dutch were conquering or you know, occupying Indonesia. So it's a bit of a dark page on the Dutch history, and that is what this song is about, and it is a really beautiful song, and that song, because of that story, really stood out for me. So despite the fact that unfortunately, yes, it is a bit of a short album. It is 30 minutes. It is 30 minutes of extremely beautiful music. I mean, if you like Songs of Seas and Ocean, if you like what Equiza does, you will love From Middle to East, because it is such beautiful music. And I am really, if I see, if I look back at the albums that I reviewed in the past year and see how many Dutch musicians I have reviewed, how many Dutch bands, but also Dutch guitar players that are out there, and see what an amazing songs and amazing music and amazing albums they bring, well, in that case I'm happy again and I'm a bit proud again to be Dutch. So once again, Sebas, thank you for yet another fantastic album. But now some Equiza music please, because I would like to hear some more of that as well. But of course, whatever music Sebas will bring, I will love it very much. So I already gave it away, you already know it. I'm giving this a live prog must-have recommendation, Sebas Honing, From Middle to East. Well folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, you can click on like or share, and of course you can click on subscribe so you will stay up to date on all the new videos I will upload. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and I hope you will see me at a new review.